sitting here watching this stream today, you cannot underestimate how ahead of the curve you are right now.
Bitcoin looks tired. All coins look hungry.
I'm just not quite sure that Bitcoin has any more sauce.
I still think this thing is really worth a lot more than it is.
This stuff's spooky, man. These chaos PRZs are intense.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Solana is highly performant and has the team with the experience to support it.
$4,800 Ethereum. That's a big, big move here.
Whatever you do, always play from a position of strength. Welcome back, everybody, to Hero Labs Live. I be the host. I will be your host today. Random Task 555 on Twitter with an @ symbol at the start. Camera being stupid today. I don't know what's that all about. Sometimes I sit down and I'm good to go, and then it's fine. And sometimes I sit down and it's like, whoa, I'm from the 1980s and I don't work. So we're going to deal with that today. I don't think I'll turn it off on the main screen here, but when we get to the chart, I'll just probably flip it off because it's annoying. Having said that, what a nice little rug we had today in the market. A little drop down. I think it's not that crazy. You know, if you've been around crypto for a while, you're probably like, I've seen worse. But it never feels good. Never feels good. And there's been some rugs this week. So if you guys were caught in the Snowdog or Snowbank, S-Dog, any of that stuff, I apologize to you on behalf of the universe. That sucked. That sucked a lot. And in a weird way, I avoided it just because I was not around when that shit first started, Snowbank, whatever, and I kind of missed the exact opening. And by the time I would have gone to see it, everyone was already talking about it, and it's usually a turn off for me. And then it kind of evolved and morphed into this dog coin, and then everyone was like, oh, the buyback's coming. I just thought, this is not going to end well. You know, when you have thousands of people all staring at the same thing on the same play, thinking the same thing, you typically will get a couple people that are like, based on all of what they're thinking, I'm going to take advantage of it this way. Did the team rug? You know, did they put the liquidity on their new decks as a surprise, and then everyone moves over there, but it was too late, and so 2 different transactions got out with something like, what, 10 million and 2 million? I don't know. And then everyone else just lost money. So it's kind of how it goes when you have sketchy, weird, anon shit that you're thinking maybe you get a quick, nasty, fast buck on. I know some people did pretty well with it. Not everyone lost money, but for the most part, if you're just like me, average Joe, sitting here at your computer thinking, I'm going to try something, well, you know, you're up against it. I watched 2 very smart devy people today have a conversation about AVAX, and I realized very quickly just how much I don't know when they were talking about bidding up blocks and spamming network blocks so they can get their transactions in first, and they were having this really deep debate about it. It was interesting, but it was a sharp reminder, a stark reminder to me to stick to the chart, stick to what you know, and then outsource what you don't know. I've got DeFi kind of like guys who know. Shout out to Pasta if you're around. He kind of walks me through some of the more advanced DeFi stuff, or I'll just tell him like what I'm yielding. He's like, oh dude, no, let's get you on this one. This one's got better yield. You know, network, learn, find people. And one of the best things you can do right now is figure out what it is you can become good at. What can you offer? What skill can you build? And that skill, once you put it on offer, you know, you put it out there, and people will be eager to offer their skills back to you, and that's how you build and grow. So, you know, like any day, on a down day, it's better to focus on self-improvement, zoom out a bit, you know, see what's going on in life. Now, I don't think this is like, ooh, down day, there's not much to do. Let's go take a look at the charts, guys. There is some interesting things we can look at today in the market. I'm fired up today. Like I was really fired up. Is my camera still going to do that on this new shot? Yeah, I think it is. We're just going to go ahead. We're just going to go ahead and flip it off, which is sad. I like being here with you guys in visual form. But I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing. When Deltafy, perfect camera. Then I test it, perfect camera. Then I hop in here. Paper handing in short. Most paper handing in short. Yeah, I don't know about BOBA. I cut a chunk of my BOBA last night and a chunk of it the night before because it was just kind of in profit, and I was like, it's like I saw the daily. Anyways, we'll get into that in a bit. Let's talk about the broader market right now. First of all, holy shit. global markets just look like ass today. Like, that is a nasty candle. That is the biggest, if we closed here, that is like the biggest red candle on this chart by far. It's not even close. I mean, this one may be close from September. Okay, not that long ago. But that is a fuck you candle on the ES, the global markets. It's very hard, I think, for anything to hold up in that. It's just panic. It's fear. If you have profit, you take it. If you're at a small loss, you cut it. If you're in a deeper loss, you panic exit. Like, just what everybody wants to sell something on a day like today, which is sad. Maybe early to buy, late to sell. I don't know. I don't look at these markets. I only check them today because somebody said, holy shit, look at the S&P. Look at the ES mini futures. So this is not great. And of course, the narrative, which all love to have our narratives, to say, why did this happen? I mean, it couldn't be just because this entire fucking rally for the last 30 years has been a big fugazi and it's gone way away from valuations for the last 10 years specifically. I don't know. Every time this thing dumps, I'm like, there it is. Finally. That was supposed to happen, wasn't it? But we need our narratives, right? We say, well, why isn't it just going up? Urgh. Well, it's because in South Africa, there's a new variant of COVID. That's the narrative right now. Freaking people out. It's messing with their heads. And it could be serious. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that shit. And I read one news article, so I'm not going to sit here and give you my hot takes. I'll tell you this, though. In many ways, I think it was written on the charts. And so that's often why I don't really pay too much attention to narratives. Because here's the thing. Narratives will make you want to sell support and buy resistance every single time. Coinbase going live here. The narrative was like, oh my God, we're breaking out. It's going to be huge. Perfect top. Don't buy the fucking narrative. What's another good example, right? Right around here, you know, pretty much at support. Risk against these lows, sure. Great risk reward to the upside. But right down here, what did we have? We had some kind of nasty, I don't know, it was late September, China FUD, make you want to sell support. Making you feel bearish at support and bullish at resistance. That is what narratives do to me. So I try to ignore them. But, you know, when you have a major one, and this is what it does to the global market, it's usually like good to at least read it, figure it out. Right here, I forget what it was, but it was this thing that was basically like, right? It's like, oh, it's not just a dip, it's the crash, it's coming. Well, no, it just made everybody sell the support on bullish divergence and get left behind for a month, who are now, you know, probably bought back up here in FOMO and now they're underwater again. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? So every time there's a big move in the market, everyone, it's human nature. And I'm the same way. Oh, what happened? Was there news? Was there news? Was there news? But this was written on the charts. I hate to say it, guys, but I think, you know, and that, okay, and let's be clear. That's not like, it was written on the charts. It was for sure going to happen. I shorted it perfectly. I'm a millionaire. No, it's just that if you tell me why did it dump, I'll say, well, it's probably because we lost a key support. We came up and tested it, dumped it down, came up and tested it again on failing volume, no buyers present, and then it just rugged. And it's a low volume holiday, right? It's holidays, it's Thanksgiving week in New York, in the USA, right? So, you know, A, B, C, D pattern right here. A, B, next move, C, D, typically marks the end of the move for a short period of time. There's all kinds of technical reasons we could point to. Surely there was bearish divergence here between these two peaks, depending how you measure your divergence. I know some people will say, it's too big a gap, doesn't count, but, you know, sure, find another time frame, it'll fit. So look, since we broke down from here, it's just been bearish market structure. There's been no recovery. Now, the one exception to that, and this is why I'm looking at ETH right now, the one exception to that is, well, first of all, look at ETH. Oof, that looks sexy. That looks sexy. I mean, big, fat, cup and handle continuation. Not a lot of bullishness here, though. A little concerning. Not too much volume. Although somebody pointed something out interesting the other day that we should mention here. There's a good chance that a lot of the volume that we might have been comparing to previous rallies, previous runs, maybe some of that's moving off chain. And so we need to look at more global volume measures if we can measure things like Uniswap volume in aggregate with CEX volume, centralized exchange volume. Because here on centralized exchanges, it just looks anemic. It's like, oh, there were some buyers and then there was a new high on no volume and now we've had nothing but down volume. So other than the volume, which is arguably the most important piece, this looks great. all that to say, you know, proceeding with caution here at the end of what, you know, whether or not you believe in the next 4 years playing out like a 4-year cycle. To this point, crypto has operated on 4-year cycles, much to do with the Bitcoin halvings. And we are at the end of a 4-year bullish cycle. So you have to keep that in mind. That's not to say I don't think we have any precedent here, or well, precedent. I don't think we have any reason to think this is going to be like the beginning of a big nasty 2-year bear market. I just don't think that. But there's all kinds of reasons, you know, I could see it just tapering off into the end of the year, just being a really shitty, you know, FU clean up the market kind of market. It'd be pretty savage to just see Bitcoin, you know, coming up here this year and just kind of ranging. But like, that'll drive people crazy. Whatever it has to do, you know, and that'll feel like a bear market because most people now are just used to this. Up only, up only. But most of you, I would guess, were around during the spring. You know how it feels. It doesn't take long to make you want to just puke your guts out and sell everything. And that is kind of what happened through here. There's probably a handful of people watching the stream that were selling through here. I was getting stopped out, trying to long it, missed the one, right? Classic. So nobody's perfect here, guys. We're all trying to make it. We're all trying to do our best with what we have. But if you did sell through here and then were totally caught off guard by this, the lesson to learn from that is then to see this, try to spot weakness in the market, try to see failing volume, failing, you know, momentum, and then that breakdown back here when I was actually just getting back from Lisbon and then chop, 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 chop. We haven't reversed it. It's just a bearish structure. So, you know, tail end of a bull market here. Well, tail end, midpoint, who cares? But the point is, we've been in a bull market for a while. It's very hard to see the forest for the trees. We're just poisoned by recent price action. Just like here, it was impossible to, you know, for a lot of people to visualize what was about to come. Right here, maybe even especially right up here, it was very hard for anyone to even imagine this. You're like, what do you mean? We're going to 100K. So, I don't know. Ranting hard today. I was just at the bank. That's why I was a little late today, guys. And paid for that house. Paid for the house. It's finally fucking paid for. Took me a long time to spend an hour with somebody sending one transaction. Felt like I was on Ethereum 1.0. But it's done. It's paid for. And there's no greater pleasure. I got to see you guys for this one. Let me tell you, there is no greater pleasure that I take than watching the bank manager squirm and clench his little butthole when I'm standing there paying in cash to the house. And you know what? Fuck that attitude that he gave me too, because the one guy came by. God, this camera's brutal. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he came by after. You know, she's filling out the wire information, all this stuff, and he looks at the amount. And he sees it, and he looks at me, and then he looks back at her, and he's like, "Hey, did that check clear?" I'm like, "Fuck you, bro. It was a direct transfer. It's not a check. It cleared. Fuck out of here." So, you know, there was just pure suspicion. They asked, you know, who was it that made that deposit? Where did that come from? Blah, blah, blah. Instead of what you would get if you went in for a mortgage, which was congratulations on your new home. Now you can pay us for 20 years. End up paying 40% more for your house. Go fuck yourself, banks. Oh, so there was some great pleasure in that. A measure of pleasure in not having to take a mortgage. And yeah, I took out a significant portion of my crypto. I'm crypto broke as a result. But I've locked in a real asset. It feels good. You know, probably over close to half or over half on that house of what I had in crypto. Locked in though. And if we ever get into some stinky, gross, nasty bear that nobody saw this coming, oh my God, global markets, I can borrow against that. I can borrow against that house. Take my mortgage out on the back end. Buy more Bitcoin, whatever, right? So if you haven't ever, I'm not saying do it today, but if you've never even thought about like just taking out some small measure, you know, paying off a student debt, blah, blah, blah. Don't, you know, I'm not saying go do it today. I don't know what the hell your situation is. None of this is financial advice. But sometime through this, you know, when this is up here, greed. We were in extreme greed for weeks. That's where you have to start to train yourself. That's where I've trained myself to start paying myself. Start taking it out, turning it into real shit. Yeah, Foo Bear, I did. I paid cash for that motherfucking house. Because you know what? I swim in risk. I live in risk. Everything I do is risk. I don't want debt, and I'm not paying the banks. You know, I'm poor on paper. My income statements through the bear market were not very good. So, you know, you can make it all you want in crypto, but as soon as you go to the bank, they're just like, excuse me, sir, you're poor. Go fuck yourself. And they're offering you shitty rates. And I was like, you know what? I got halfway through an application. I just said, fuck you guys. I'll just take it out of this thing. Like, I'm confident that I can work my way back up in my crypto account. I'm not too bothered. Anyways. But yeah, fuck that. Spicy. Yeah. So anyways, guys, fired up today. And like, look, yeah, appreciate that, Kraz Zarkov. Look, there's no reason to freak out, guys. There really isn't. Now, I say that casually because I'm not freaking out. And, you know, you might look at this and be like, I'm overexposed. I took too much leverage, or I was in, you know, S-Dog for a lot of money. S-Dog's not looking great. But if you ever find yourself on days like today, just freaking out, like totally stressed, you have to reflect on what you did or what you've done to put yourself in that situation. You should never be in that situation. And I know it's like, I'm not trying to be high and mighty. I'm just like, take advantage of the lesson you could learn from that. And that might mean giving up potential low time frame profits. Like, oh, you know, like if I'm not all in, I can't make it soon. It's like, cool then. Don't make it soon. Make it in 3 years. Make it in 4 years. Very few situations where you can't do that. You know, like if someone's like, oh, you know, I have a disease and I have a year to live and I have to make it this year to pay for my family's future. Like, okay, cool. But like, that's terrible. Sorry to hear that. You definitely don't have, what is it? Snowbank. But like most people, their problem isn't that they, you know, suck or that the market, you know, problem is that they're just trying to do too much too soon, too fast. And then you get stuck like this. This is nasty. Snowbank. My cousin got caught up in this, and I think he said he took a fair haircut, and I feel bad because if we had had any real discussion about it, I would have cautioned him. He's a really sharp guy, so it's not like I had to hold his hand there, but he definitely took a hit on this one. And look, Snowbank, for what it's worth, the team's not like, hey, we rugged. They're just like stupid and they messed up and they've lost trust. But I bet there's somebody out here looking to buy this dip, saying that they maybe come back. I think there's too many options out there to do what Snowbank was doing that are more trustworthy for them to get all that market share back, but we'll see. One that I've been messing around with on a yield play. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of all over the map today. Don't mind me. Holy shit. Somebody offloaded their Blizz today, and somebody bought it all back. So, yeah, Blizz is one I've been watching. Full disclosure, I got long in the one... Actually, I got long on this dump. And then I added around $2. So I'm long like 164 on 2, and then the yield on it is just insane. Makes me think that the token has to wash out, because like if you lock your Blizz for 3 months, you get so much Blizz every day. More. You also get other yields like stablecoins, so I'm just scooping those, locking more Blizz, compounding. But I have no illusions. Like after 3 months of my lock's done, I expect this thing more than likely will be just washed out, sub $1. The question is, can the stables eventually outweigh that? I don't know. We'll find out. It's an experiment. But today, yeah, like today, any day, no day in the market. I mean, there's bad trades, and I get stressed out all the time, guys. Don't get me wrong. But no single day in the market should ever be in a position to totally wreck you. If that's ever happened to you, or if you set yourself up for that, just reflect. Reflect and grow, my friends. Reflect and grow. Because you should be playing the long game here. And having lived through a 2-year bear market that I didn't even know what a bear market was. And, oh, baby, I learned. Oh, we all learned about the bear market that year. But, yeah, you know, you come out stronger. Some people got washed out. They never came back. I decided, you know what? I'm going to stick around. This sucks. I was down 98%. Something ridiculous, you know. Paid off my debt in 2017. Didn't have tons, but like got rid of it early. You know, sold a dip in September on Bitcoin before the big rally just to pay my debts, but whatever, it was done. Got completely rinsed through the bear market. Actually made back half my 2017 stack mid bear market on an ICO, and then lost that too. Watched it go to hell. And then I got totally rinsed. I was down to my last bag. And, you know, you got to decide at some point in your life, you put in the bottom. And then we happen to have the March sell-off. Well, since then. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, guys, is stay the course. But if you're fucking up, if you're struggling, if you're not making money, stop. Just stop. Take a break. I don't know why the cookie thing keeps popping up. Take a break and pull this up right here. Love this shit. What are we going to do here? Trading panel. Boom. Can I get it? Yeah. Paper trade. Connect. Connect to that paper trade account. You can buy, sell, track, start with 10,000, start with 100,000, whatever you like. It's all fake money. But what you do is you give yourself an opportunity to prove that you can be profitable. Because if you can't be, stop touching stuff. If you can't be profitable in this market by trading, stop trading. Period. You're just going to lose money. So everyone wants to be a hodler until the market takes a shit. Then they all want to turn into traders at support. Don't do it. Have a plan. I was just having this conversation with my brother-in-law this morning. You know, have a plan. Be a trader, be a hodler. If you're going to be a hodler, well, it's very easy for you. Look away. Days like today, unless you're like DCAing somewhere. You want to be a trader, figure out what kind of trader you want to be. You want to be a day trader? This is my day trade here. It's not come in yet. I don't even have a bids working. I'm not sure if I'm going to take it, but this is my setup. I'm playing analysis paralysis for now. Moving along. That would be my day trade. You know, get a fill on a little wick down, and then see if I can, you know, scalp it up to some of these highs, sweep those, whatever. You want to be a swing trader. That's what I'd like to be. That's my favorite shit, and that's where you start to think long on these big nasty dips, and then you know, sell it into the greed swing. For that, there's no greater tool than this. There's nothing else to, and we are going to get into the charts, guys. Sorry, I'm totally like just in the zone right now, trying to fire off whatever I can that is, you know, helpful on a day like today, which is otherwise admittedly painful for a lot of people, myself included. Don't get it twisted. I took a fat drawdown today. It's just, I don't know, month over month they get more blasé. You kind of come up with a plan, you look at everything that's not a stable coin, and you just tell yourself that's zero. So then it doesn't hurt so much when it goes down 10, 20, 30%. You're like, oh yeah, well, it's still up from zero, right? It's all a mental gymnastics, that's all. Anyways, this is my favorite tool in crypto. And if you do this, and maybe we should do this someday, but I'm not going to do it right now. It'll take forever. But you go plot all these little extreme fear dips and put them on a price chart, and you're going to see, like, all through May and June and July. All through here, extreme fear. Was that a good place to be thinking long? Yup. On a swing trade basis, right? Not like little scalpy, high leverage longs where you get stopped out all the way through. I did a couple of those. It got stopped out on 100% of them. But swing trade, positioning yourself here. And then was it an interesting time to be offloading early September? Let's go see. Where is it? Let's just pick on ETH. Yep, early September. Perfect time to be offloading. What was that? That was when we got back into the greed index up in the 70s. And then where was the best time to be reloading that? September 30th. Let's go see. Right around here. Yeah, close enough. So maybe we should just be like zooming in a bit. September 30th. Okay. Yeah, the day before the major breakout was the last day of this low. So generally speaking though, swing trade, right? So thinking long, thinking short, or pay myself, take profit. Don't have to use leverage, just thinking sell things. Now I'm starting to think about buying shit again. So if you guys are like, I don't really know where to start with trading. I don't want to sign up for TRI. It's $1,000. I'm not ready. By the way, that's always my recommendation. But otherwise, just start examining this tool. Oh, it's incredible. Then read here how they come up with it, right? It's part of its volatility, momentum, social media, surveys, dominance, trends. It's such a great fucking tool. So underrated. So if you ever see me tweet this out, you know, it's gonna be a little bit of no man's land. I bet we're in extreme fear right now, actually. It'll reset at the daily close today, and I bet it's gonna be down sub 30s, because we were 30 and 32 and 34 yesterday, and this is a fat dump. And now we have a narrative, right? Now we have South African Corona. Which, again, not to mock it, could be serious, I don't know. Anyways, Spell did not rug pull Cornholio. Get out of here. You know that. But it doesn't look good. Spell, I think, had some liquidations. That's probably why, like, if it looks like extreme today, let's go see. I don't even, admittedly, I don't really look at Spell too much. It's a long game for me. I've got a bunch. Oh, look, it's right at the sweet spot. See, this is my favorite shit. This is my favorite shit. When's the time on this chart through this whole run up? Family, friends ask me, they say, oh, buy Spell, I want to buy some. I'd probably say, well, draw a fib and wait for the reload zone. And now we're down here, and it's like, rug, wait, I gotta go sell some. Like, I better go sell. That's the sentiment. And I get it. I'm looking at my stack saying, wow, it must have been worth so much more up here. Wish I sold. But I know better than to, like, remedy that by selling here. I'm like, add or hold, period. That's a hard, fast rule I have. I can only add or hold. Just like coins that are breaking off into price discovery, with my strategy, I can only sell or hold. I can't just keep buying into that. I can only buy in throwbacks, blah, blah, blah. Pump chaser zones, all that stuff. GTC pumping. I wonder if you're saying BTC. Is that what you're talking about? Let's go see. Ooh. BTC? GTC. I don't know. What the hell is GTC? Anyways, yeah, no, we're going to chop around here for a little bit. You know, I don't know. What's the Dixie doing? I think my takeaway here is that I'm definitely interested in building a position. What did I buy? Yesterday I bought Sin. Sin's a gaming token. I was in the pre-sale, you know, rising volume, so it's one that I pay attention to. One I'd like to pick up more of on a throwback. You know, my fund, we do a lot of pre-sales. We're very active. We don't get pre-sale allocations because I'm an influencer. Like, that has nothing to do with it. I'm not an influencer personally. I don't think so. So for anyone here who's like, oh, those influencers getting all your free rides, come on. I got like 10,000 followers. Nobody's giving me pre-sales because of that. It's, you know, we're incubators. We actually help them. So we, you know, connect them with everyone in our network, partnerships, listings, things like that. So if any of y'all were wondering, it's not like you're just talking about it because you had a pre-sale and they told you to talk about it. I don't even think half of them know that I have a YouTube. Point is, RPG is one of them as well. So we're very active, but we get small tickets. We get a lot of, you know, we don't get these like $2 million check sizes where it's like, so a lot of times when it hits the market and I find a setup, I add to it. In the case of RPG, I added size yesterday at around $1. This was not me. Somebody's like earlier, they're like, oh, that's why it went up in volume. I was like, I didn't do all that. That's probably millions of dollars of volume. But I did probably 3x my bag here. I like this one. So if you're looking for a little gem, you know, I think Sin City, RPG, there's a few little gaming plays that are still yet unknown. Lingering over on Binance Smart Chain. There's a few. Wars is another one. Have not added to this. Let's go see what the chart looks like. It's, yeah, same thing, right? Nice little rally this week. It'd be weird to me if this wasn't higher at some point in the near future, but we'll see. What was I looking at? I came here for a reason. Gitcoin. Oh, D-Josh talking about Gitcoin. Never heard of it. Can you also do ICE? Yeah, let's take a look at ICE. I was saying this morning, ICE might be one of the strongest buys in the market right now. In the sense of, like, I'm so bullish on it, and it's 80% off its highs. Holy shit. Like, talk about a bear market in 1 month. Right? Usually, you get a bull trend, you get a bull market, whatever, and then like, yeah, okay, I want to get long on really good assets when they're 80% off their highs. But to do that, I have to wait. This was like a turbo. It was like, hey, how'd you like to just get long a month later off the highs? Like, so that's pretty crazy. Now, I have a lot of ICE, staked ICE and ICE. So exposure-wise, I don't know if I should be coming in here to just add to it. It's still in a downtrend, blah, blah, blah. You know, can I do what I should do, what I usually do, which is wait for it to find a bottom, form a bottom. The market will tell us when it's ready, and then reverse. And then whenever that breakout comes, see some rising buy volume. Right now, we have nothing but sellers, right? There's just no buy. There's no bid. That bid will come from some price at some level sideways, and then that bid will come. I'm confident in that. Barring any bullshit around like, oh no, you know, exploit, blah, blah, blah. Like, obviously, right? That's always with the case with any project. Barring fundamental collapse, the buyers will come, just like they did here. That was a really nice signal. That's when it's actually a little before I started buying at 5. So yeah, like, yeah, I went from $5, rode it up to 70, and all the way back down to 14. These are the swings that you get. These are the swings you get in crypto, man. And yes, I'm a little butthurt that it hit my level perfectly and I didn't even take off a little or half or whatever. But I was like arriving in Lisbon on this day to meet Danny and hang out with people. And like the last thing I was thinking about was like, oh, I better go dump my fucking ice. So it's looking tasty right now. You stake it on the Ethereum network on Popsicle. Yeah, you can't have to be on the ETH network, main chain. I still have my SHROOM, Rojogan, and the key to that is that I just have it in a separate wallet. I never look at it. So I actually forget about it, and then you remind me. Let's go see, what's SHROOM up to? Is it still doing stuff? And the other thing to that is sizing, right? I sized it such that I'm not like sweating my bag. Yeah, nice. Pick some SHROOM up down here because of Rojogan in the chat. Big shout to Ro. Appreciate you, bro. I don't know where my entry was exactly, but it's up a couple 100%, and I'm just riding it. And the key to that, again, out of sight, out of mind, and sizing it so that I don't have to really, you know, if I had my whole portfolio in this thing, I probably would have sold it somewhere on this dip for a small profit. Because that's psychology for you, baby. What else we got, guys? I'm into it. I feel like I've got a meeting just after 4, so we get about 20-25 minutes. Not the fun kind though. It's like with an accountant about trying to put together the mess of my fucking exchange accounts and wallets to actually do a full-blown tax return this year. Ugh, puke. I think like a lot of people, I used to just report whatever hit my bank and pay gains on it. Because that's, you know, what noobs do when you don't know what's going on. But this year, I am actually going to be processing every single fucking thing, and it's a nightmare. So I have a meeting about that. Not the favorite thing to do on a Friday, but it's what it is. Take a look at BOBA. Yeah, let's look at BOBA. I have a bag. It's smaller than it was. A little loosey-goosey with this one. Let's go see. Yeah, I don't think it's not looking great this second. I mean, it's definitely in a nice dip, but this looks like the post-launch hype rally, and it looks like that's popped. And so usually what you'll get, and this is actually Gunny's favorite setup in crypto. He's like, get that post-launch hype. I forget what he calls it, like the Gartner hype cycle. And it's like this, and then it just kind of drips, and you get all like the airdroppers. The OMG guys got airdroppers and whatever. And it usually ends up somewhere in this reload zone. And then once everyone's forgotten about it, it goes. And there's examples of this everywhere on a new coin. So I think that's over. I bought the highs like a mutt, got long at like $5 because I just thought, everything's bullish. ETH L2 with a token, it's good for a 2x. Didn't quite get my 2x, right? I was hunting these levels. But shit looked really weak the other day. So I did, what is it, yesterday, the day before? I sold, I don't know, half in the low 7s. Just over half in the low 7s. And I was like, I'm just going to ride it to break even. Stop out on the rest, or maybe it'll go up and hit all those TPs that I have set. I might even just move my stop to this wick low. You know, break even's like down here. Like if it hits this wick low, it's gonna hit that level, like almost certainly. But either way, I've locked in a winner. It's guaranteed win now. I know you can't say the word guaranteed, but it is for me. Like it's gonna be in profit. You pay yourself already, put the rest to break even. It's like a locking in a win, but I don't know. I guess we'll get that word guarantee out of here. What if the exchange blows up? I don't know. Nothing's a guarantee. Can you check out RUNE? Hell yeah. We'll check out RUNE. Can you discuss Planet Sandbox? PSB. Is that on the list here? PSB is another one in my funds portfolio. I admittedly don't know too much about it. I'm like the trader at the fund. I don't do all the white papers and phone calls and stuff, but this is in our portfolio, so I can't talk too much about it except for the chart. Holy shit, Planet Sandbox, come on down, baby. I didn't even see that. Nice. All right, so yeah, flat launch. It's like a market maker distribution or something, and now it's just yeah, I don't know what else to say except for that's a really strong breakout on volume, and it's probably the beginning of a move. And so then I'm thinking like PCZ, get a pullback, get in, but should probably go take a deeper look at that one sometime soon. For now, it's just like, hey, nice launch, bro. BOBA. BOBA's in the pump chaser zone, you know, it's in the PCZ, it's in the pullback. So the thing is, it doesn't have this crazy buy volume. In fact, you know, the one thing that made me nervous about it, it's like, yeah, okay, ETH L2 with a token, great narrative, but like, wasn't it distributed mostly on an airdrop? And so then, yeah, they might hold it because they're like, hey, I'm gonna get rich. But then as soon as things aren't going well, they're still in basically 100% profit, right? Because it's like free token, and you get a lot of deep sell. So I'm not gonna add back here. Probably cutting my position here and then looking for a new trade, you know, through whatever this ends up looking like. Maybe it's quick, maybe it's long and painful. Really tough to say what we're going to get into the end of the year. I think a lot of it will have to do with the results of this new COVID variant. I think people are just going to stare at that and think risk off until we find out how screwed the economy is for the next year. Supply chains and bullshit. Yeah, it was an airdrop. So yeah, I agree. I think hype launch and then chill for a bit. So I might actually just go sell the rest of mine. I don't know. I was thinking about it today. I was like, what are the odds that we just don't hit my 20 entry? Probably just do. So I could sell at 590 instead of basically locking in a lesser win. So we'll see. What else were we going to look at? Just talked about it. RUNE. Yeah. Let's see. I like to go on the daily. RUNE. Yeah. I don't know. RUNE looks a little bit cooked. Not like it's gonna go down way more, but came in. I mean, really nice meandering, like sweet spot tag on the way up. Full confirmed bullish market structure. Just blew up. Nice volume. Tagged this throwback resistance. Nothing but sellers there. Straight back to support. I mean, basically a straight shot for one week. Lost it, regained it. So, I mean, the last thing it did was put in this little bullish market structure here, and it's now testing that. So, it's not a terrible spot. I mean, look, some of these majors are sitting on high time frame support. We're at this like holiday weekend of fear and low volume, which is definitely going to end up down here somewhere tonight when it resets. You know, we've got ETH sitting at high time frame throwback support. Can it, you know, does it come and touch this 20 week over the next few weeks and we get this tax selling end of season narrative shit for the year and we just kind of sideways and shit for January, February and build a basis and all these alts and then have a big spring rally? I mean, that's the more probable scenario, I think. But if we were going to say I have to trade every day because I like to, probably want to get 4-1 on something like this and risk into these lows and thinking long through here. Yeah, it's there. There's something there. I don't know. I don't know if that's... I'll tell you what, I have a bit of bullish exhaustion going on in my own mind. I don't know if any of you guys have been feeling that. It's not like, oh, I've been too successful. It's more just like I've been staring at charts for friggin' like non-stop for like 2 years now. And I know that's like, okay, yeah, that's your job, but it's like, no, literally like 10, 8, 12, 14 hour days. And then, you know, it's always like, when bear market? Because then you can kind of like yield and chill or pull out and chill or just know that it's going to be shit for months and not even sweat it. Have the discipline to literally just not look at it for a month. Weirdly looking forward to something like that. Obviously not, because you just take a drawdown and it sucks. But I am hesitant to start really attacking this kind of a trade because I'm just exhausted. I don't know if that resonates with any of you guys. You know, there's no end. There's no end to upside. So it's like I'm not saying like, oh, I've made enough and I'm ready to retire. I'm just like mentally exhausted. I mean, if nothing else, I'm analyzing that as like, oh, that's like a fairly common theme. You know, maybe there's just a lot of people that are really ready and happy to just take profits into the end of the year and lock it in and chill. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. KDA. Harrison, I'll try to check that out for you. Never heard of it. Made a good gain on OH. Finance following your teachings. Nice. Vlad, appreciate that, man. I hope that feels good. You're doing well. Fed about airdrop USD after announced lockdowns. BTC bull back on that. Fed about to announce airdrop USD. Yeah, we'll see, Foo Bear. I mean, that's what I said this morning. I was like, it wasn't the last COVID thing kind of net bullish? It was like, yeah, after a massive dump. So stay off the leverage. Who knows? Crypto Classic. Yeah, 3 to 4x off launch and then minus 80% is the Crypto Classic. I agree. Retrace. Yep. Is that good for trading? Is there another CEXC all top dogs? You know what, Mambo? If I had my choice, I would recommend FTX, probably then Binance, and then KuCoin. KuCoin now is suddenly taking the lead because you can actually, I can trade there. FTX and Binance has banned Ontario, where I live, and FTX is kind of on the fence. I think they're on their way out. But FTX, in my opinion, is one of the best. I think their spot trading is less good. Can't get AVAX on spot there. They just do a lot of perps and then ERC20s. They don't have too many like non-EVM tokens or non-ERC20 tokens that you can trade on spot. So I don't love that. So if you want to like buy AVAX there, you can only be long on the perp. You can't like just hold some tokens, which sucks. KuCoin is really coming up. I just don't know anything about their back end. I can't even trust that they're profitable enough to just be like, trusting them. Like with Binance, I'm like, yeah, some shady practices probably going on there, a little bit super unregulated, but at least we know they're so fucking rich that it would be in their best interest to always pay off any kind of hack, and totally in their worst interest to even explore the idea of just exit scamming. It would be ridiculous. So I have faith in that, right? KuCoin, a little bit less certain. But they got great volume, thick books, tons of options to trade. So yeah, I think KuCoin's a good bet too. Cadena ranks 66. Can't decide if I should take some profits here on part of my bag. Yeah, I mean, let's look at it. Cadena. Oh, and it's on KuCoin. Nice. Well, wow. Oh yeah, this is one you guys brought up on stream the other day that went like crazy 68x or something. Nice. Well, look, dude. Can't decide if I should take some profits here on part of my bag. Like, that is so financial advicey. And I don't know your situation, so I'm not going to offer you that advice. What I will say is, if it depends on so many things, right? Aside from your whole entire financial situation, which nobody knows, like, are you long from here? Are you long from here? Like, where you're long from? If I was long from anywhere down here, I would be inclined to pay myself. Oh yeah, 100% I'd be paying myself up here. But because it's a bullish coin, and I'm sure in the community chats there's a strong narrative around like how, it's going to go even further. Well, I don't want to be all out. I don't know where the market's going to go, so maybe I'm just taking half off or, 3/4 off. Getting greedy when other people are, or fearful rather, paying myself. Getting greedy with taking profits after a huge successful trade is great. And this is actually something that I picked up from Messi last summer. Is this idea that like if I make 10x here and I pay myself, in the time or with the effort it would take this thing to go 2x, I could then have redistributed all that profit I took here into like some other little coins that were all like at their lows, and then 2 of them rally and they take a 10x or whatever. And in the time otherwise just sitting in this coin, of course it could just retrace, and then it's like, oh, you didn't take any profit. But then sitting in that, so the 2x on a 10x is like a 20x, or like 3 or 4 more 10x's is like more. I don't know. He had a way better way of explaining it, but it was this idea of just rotating, the rotator. So that went a long way for me this year. But as a general rule, totally unrelated to this coin or your situation, I always preach paying thyself. Market is so fucking good at taking money away from people that when it offers you a chance to, ring the cash register, I gotta learn how to do that. It's harder than you think. A lot of people struggle with it because you get up, you see the dollar signs, you get into the chats, everyone's super bullish on it. They're just buying in now. So of course they're sitting there talking about 10x's yet to come. You're already in a 10, thinking about 20s, 30s, and 40s, and you're just like, it gets draining. And then usually what ends up happening is you end up selling right here. You're like, hey, I'm gonna get long. And then you're gonna ride it, you get that little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and then suddenly here you're like, okay, this is getting absurd. I'm still like up 4x or something, I'm just gonna sell. So you buy and then you sell. That's pretty standard. With a trading plan, you can start to learn how to train yourself to get out at more opportune areas. So where's this guy going? I don't know. A little less volume on the latest high. Looks like a bull flag, to be honest. Looks like consolidate before continue, but it's tough to say. And so rather than trying to know for sure, you just start making rules like, I'm going to get paid when this goes here, when this goes here, when this goes here. There's a lot you can do with cash in this market too. A lot you can do with cash. I think it's always a good time to be thinking about time. Thoughts on entering here? Yeah, I mean, look, this thing, let's just start off by saying this thing has outperformed any of my wildest imagination. Like, I mean, I was in on this thing day one. And so, of course, we're just like, oh my God, look, oh wow, it hit 2K, holy shit. Like, this APY keeps growing. Like, this has outperformed what I had initially thought was like an exciting play. I was like, oh yeah, like I got in, you know, day one on this thing, like it's an ohm fork, blah, blah, blah. It's just exploded, right? All the way up, the PCZ, these 382.5 pullbacks on each latest rally have been areas that aged well to buy in. At some point, high time frame trends change and you come in and you make weaker highs, and then now it's time to really test the market, test the hands of those who hold and see, you know, are they really holders or do they all shit the bed at 4, 5, 6,000, whatever. I don't know if we're coming into that yet. I loved seeing this buy volume here really ramping up. Like the highest buy volume we had ever seen was like 5 days ago. And then all this selling started. So I don't know. I really can't say. The thing is, if it's slow enough, you know, just say I buy here. And I say, well, the APY is high enough that after 1 year I should be in profit, even if price is, you know, down here. That's true. But if it did go down in short order, for the short time frame, you would be underwater. You'd be down. And then because it takes time for that APY to like catch up. And I think that's what's missing on a lot of people's brains, right? They look at the calculator, they calculate it, and they're like, yeah, like can't lose, blah, blah, blah. Would have to go down below like this crazy number for it to be like not profitable. But they don't calculate that takes time. So the sharp drops, they're down underwater. They're like, wait, what happened? And they're not prepared to wait for that sideways chop. That's where the APY catches up. So am I predicting that this happens? No. I'm just always on the caution side with things like this. Because look, let's be honest. It's been on a sick run. It's done nothing but go up since it came out. It has a crazy high APY. And, you know, I think a lot of this ohm fork stuff is starting to reflect poorly. Snow, dog, whatever, rugs left and right. You know, it's a saturated thing right now, and it sucks because time is legit as fuck. I have mad faith in Danny though, like, and the community in general. The DAO sort of structure is going to, they are going to grow it. I'm confident in that. The treasury is being well managed. It is eventually going to be completely decentralized, you know, proposal-based DAO structure. And there are things being worked on in the background. I don't even know specifics, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, I know, but I can't tell you. But I know that there's a lot of stuff moving in the background. I don't know if you call it partnerships or integrations or whatever. And that's not to like, you know, low-key shill the bag. That's a fact. That's the things I know. So it's really tough to say here. I wouldn't be shocked if it squeezed and rolled over and really shit on the latest joiners to really test their patience. I also would not be shocked if in 3 weeks we look back and this dip was so friggin' juicy. And then we just did something like this and finally broke into the higher numbers. That's possible. I would not be shocked by either one. I'm really, really unsure with this one. Other than I know that I'm going to continue holding my bag and skimming little bits here and there because it pays so well, right? You could, you know, skimming half my profits each day or half my rewards each day and letting the bag grow. Downsizing during the big uptrends, letting it sit and not taking any off during the down dips. Like, yeah, been messing around with this one. So, I guess TLDR on that is like of all the places to enter, starting a position, dollar cost averaging, always managing risk, blah, blah, blah. It's in these little zones. And we're in one right now. So maybe it's that simple and I should just can it, RT. Let the man buy some time. God. I don't know. John Brown, I love you too, man. That is the most thoughtful thing someone said to me all day, and I appreciate it. Says, love you, RT. You do a great job on this. Thank you, sir. Hey, on that note, if you guys haven't already and you'd like to, you can click like on the button. Smash the old like bid. And that'll go a long way for me and the boss. The South boss likes to look at the metrics and say, hey, look at that. People are liking it. So if you do like it, hit me up. Hey, RT, check Cube. Somnium Space. All right, let's do a few more. We are getting near the top of the hour. But let's keep going. Cube. Uniswap? Ice Cube? No. Let's do it on here. Cube. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. Jesus. This is a magical chart. What is this? Oh, whoa. Is this the one? Yeah, Jedi Hornet. Hey, guys, shout out to Jedi Hornet in the chat there. Because this is his music. Guy's a DJ. I love it. And it's the only one that our community has offered to let me play that has not flagged us for like copyright. So I don't know what you're sampling, but keep it up because it's not illegal. Is this the cube you're talking about, dude? Can we look at craft? Yeah, we should look at craft. Hey, Lily, my frog lady, what's up? Really enjoy hearing how you think and your views on coins. Okay, sweet, Mambo. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, sometimes I get on here and I feel like I'm just rambling, but I get a lot of that feedback and it makes me realize, you know what? Sometimes just a good old ramble can help people get their own thinking in line. And as much as I like scripted content, I think sometimes it's the freestyle that actually delivers some of the best juice, because it's like literally just narrating my fraught with ADHD brain, and then you're like, that's why he put all these arrows. I mean, look at ETH right here. Nice little candle on the 15-minute. Yeah. So wherever this goes today, I don't want to lose sight of this trade. This is like, because I don't have any Ethereum or any Bitcoin. I have not really been heavy in those through this. I know, so taboo, right? Get your base majors. I like stable coins for yield, and I like shitcoins for growth. And I've been in and out of ETH and Bitcoin. I've had my bags. But I actually, thankfully, right before this, somewhere here, it was like a weekend, I think it was. I don't know. But I sold off all my ETH and Bitcoin. 2 big bags. Not big bags, but like, all that I had. A few of each, whatever. And I bought some back, and then I just, through this chop, I bought them back, and I was like, oh, great trade. And then I cut them again because I was like, I don't trust this market. And now I'm just kind of out of them. So we'll see. But I would like to get that back. I'd like to get my spot ETH bag back, and I want to do it down here. But if we move up from here, I'm going to follow the peak with this fib. And it's crazy, guys, but if you watch the show, you've seen examples of this. And then it'll just be like, maybe it's like even the Monday open, right? And then it's like, oh, Monday's going to be so bloody. And then you come back, and it's like, that was your entry. Retest the low, stop loss here, blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's all. In fact, we got that this week. Where was it? Let's go look at the Monday open. Where was it? Right here. 22nd. Is that Monday? Yep. So here it was, already having just happened. I'll give you a nice example of that. I remember kicking myself on Tuesday because I was like, damn, where was I on that entry? Here was late last week. Nice little dip. Oh no, I don't want to just buy daggers, so I'm going to wait. Okay, we got to come up, follow it up with the fib, start getting frothy down here. Because at least you can frame your risk and stop out right there. And how many times that higher low comes in, and then you get a nice bullish week, which we had. Pay yourself. This was pretty nasty. Should have been a bullish throwback. It ended up just saying, nah, COVID. So, but we just put in a W on the hourly. So any dips, back down into this will be a buy for me over the weekend. And that'll be me buying my spot ETH back. because look at it. Come on. I'm going to be a trader and I can't think about longing ETH right here. Weekly high time frame throwback to previous all-time highs. Oof. It's got to be at least a fat bounce in here, if not the most generational entry ever. Generational long. Now look at this. Let's go look at the last time this happened. You tell me if the last time this happened, it wasn't an interesting place to take a risk. Because that's all we're doing, right? It's never like, oh, this is a slam dunk. It's like, oh, you have to decide where to take risk in the market. You're always taking risk. There's no free lunch. And so if I can't lay risk at a high time frame throwback, where can I lay it? Right? It's easier to lay it on breakouts. People love to just, oh, it's pumping, buy it. Sometimes that works. Sometimes you just get totally rinsed. And where do you measure risk to? I don't know. But these, harder to pull the trigger, very well could be rolling over here and it's not the same. It's not, but it's an area where if I just consistently took some risks around these kind of levels, then I can zoom in and use those lower time frames to actually measure that risk and get the hell out if it's wrong. That's where the ticket is. Because if I get long here, boom, that's a short. Example of what not to do. 173. I'm risking 1 to 2%. And what's my upside, right? My upside is catching an entire leg of follow-up bull. Because again, this is just a spot trade. This is not like load the leverage up. So it's not like fees and funding, right? Like, I don't know. What does that look like? But where do we go? Could be sick. And looking back, I don't want to look back and then it's like, we did go up and then it's like, what was I doing right here? What the hell was I doing? If you don't have a plan, you're probably trying to sell shit today. Honestly, let's be honest. Like, raise your hand, class, if you sold some coins today. You would not be alone. You would be, and I've done it before. Don't be ashamed. Be honest. Who sold some coins today? There's no shame in it. Today is the day where a lot of people realized how at risk they were and had to make hard decisions. Sucks, but it is what it is. I've done it. But you can see where I'm going with this, right? You get objective about it, you start looking at it, with some real planning in place, and suddenly it's like, yeah, this is a place where I need to be thinking long. The only reason I can't think long here is if I was like way too long already. And now I'm just thinking I feel wrecked and I just need to get out of stuff, which is usually what happens at support. Yeah. Kraz is asking, do you think it's better to sell portions of your time or just keep borrowing against it? That's a tricky one. I've done some wrapped memo borrows. And then you get that memo or that meme. You can take that meme and smash it into like a curve vault or something, get some yield on it, or just buy other coins. You know what? I get a little uncomfortable personally when I wrap my DeFi. When I loop my DeFi, my funds through too many things. I don't know why that depicts that, but it's like, it's like borrow against something here, and then take that meme and like slide it through like that Chi platform, like Aave, and then post my meme there, and then borrow some Bitcoin against that, and then take that Bitcoin and go buy this shitcoin. Like, to unwind that position takes so much time, and unless you hit some profit objective and then you unwind it in a calm of a market, or more likely, I think you're unwinding it in a hurry because things are all crashing and you have to get the fuck out. You don't want to get liquidated. So I don't know, putting my money through like 10 DeFi loops and all that shit, I find that a little overwhelming. Call me old, call me dusty, but that's the honest truth. So I did do some borrowing against, but I did not end up sticking to it too long. Right now I am leveraged on Joe a little bit. For better or worse, I have Hxro sitting in a cauldron on Abra, and I'm just gonna hold it. I think Joe is a strong bet. I think this is probably, again, similar to ETH, right? It's like either we're going into a bear market or this is like a really sick entry on Joe. Because we had a low, we had a higher low. Oh shit, lower, but generally higher lows. Nice breakout. If you want to play horizontals, we had a breakout. If you want to play this wedge, we had a breakout. Retested it and go. Oh no, AVAX, local highs, blah, blah, blah. Joe back down into the local reload zone, like that's generally a buy for me. I bought some here, added some here, stuffed it all into Hxro, put it on the Aber cauldron, and then I used MIM to buy more Joe and put it into Hxro. So I'm a little bit leveraged, nothing crazy. I think my liquidation is like, I don't know, 88 cents or something. So I'm probably safe. But that's my thoughts on Joe. I really like Joe here. I think we should look at AVAX as we wrap up today. We're going to look at AVAX. AVAX needed to cool off. It had an incredible month, just like here, right? Just like here, it had to cool off. Nobody wanted to hear it, but it's true, it did. And it did cool off. And then it went on to a sick rally. And obviously up here you can see, I'll show you on the 4 hour, like we had the rollover. It's crazy. Sue and Kyle from 3 Arrows, and those guys know how to put tops in the market. They're not that bad, so they're clearly, it's either pure psyops and they actually wanted exit liquidity, like people like to accuse them of, or they're just like normal people, and so they have big positions and they start to get really loud and noisy when their big positions are rallying. That's maybe naive to think that way. Maybe they're way too smart. They must have been doing psyops, or like everyone else, they're just normal people that like to shout from the rooftops when their bags are mooning. I think it's 50-50 either way. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I just thought it was interesting that their tweets like all came out right here. So I unloaded, I'd say, just over half of my AVAX at 134 on this dip, actually, just to watch it go higher the next day, thinking that I jumped off too early. Then a week later, I'm like, oh, look at that. Discipline. So we got an M top. We got a retest and a fail. We're in this PCZ, and as you can see from the squiggly, I think it's just chop time at best. A little bit of sideways movement, and then we'll see if we can continue. If I had to zoom out and really call it for the next few months, a lot of people are really trying to think in terms of cycles. They say, is it a bear? Is it a bull? Are we going down? Are we going up? I don't know. Nobody knows. I'll tell you what, though, I'd be shocked. I'd be absolutely shocked if we have some big, nasty 99% drawdown in all coins like this. We just didn't have the same unhealthy run-up. So I think we can do a lot more slow zigzagging up. I think this might be the new bear market. Nice, tight, convince you to sell at support, get all the bears coming out telling you it's going to have to be an 80% drawdown, draw down 30, 40%, and then just run it and leave you behind. That might be the new norm. A little more like this. We might look, the participants are coming, right? People say, oh, it's not different this time. Well, it is actually different this time. And so as we get more adoption, it's this kind of market makers, it's these players, it's these hands, institutional bids coming into this market, and we may only get these like shorter drawdown periods instead of like a big, ridiculous 2017 bubble that just had to like wash out forever. Thought we were dead down here, right? I think crypto is dead is kind of out of the question now. I think it's going to be around. It's going to be a thing. Cat's out of the bag. And so it's going to be really hard to have that 2-year 98% drawdown. Not impossible. But trust me, this will still hurt. These will still hurt. These will still hurt. You will be shaken out. People will be shaken out. I will be shaken out. It will not be fun all the time. So just be aware of that, guys. Me saying I don't think there's going to be a big, massive bear market does not mean we couldn't have 2-3 months of significant drawdowns. It doesn't take much more than that. This was a special kind of fuck you. Let me tell you. There was fun parts within. This is like a 6-week rally. We had a 6-week fun there, 2-week fun there. Fun spring in 2019 just to get rinsed in the spring of 2020. But yeah, if I was a betting man, I'd say we're going to be into the multi-trillions in the next year or two and possibly month or two. So let's try to stay focused at support, because that is what we're going to end on. Probably my favorite look in the market right now. Whoops. And not because I think ETH has the most upside. Percentage-wise, I don't even trade it that much. But my God, I will not be turning into a bear market enthusiast on a throwback like this. Let's just end it there today. I'm going to zoom in here and try to find myself an entry. And if I get stopped at a few times, I'm going to take some more off this 20-week moving average. And if I get stopped at a few more times, I'm probably going to lick some wounds and take a month off. And that means we're going to be in for a little midterm bear. So the funny thing is, from this view, it's just up, 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 up. Like there's nothing but bull here. But even in the big bull, you have to have some mini bear. So we'll see what this all looks like in a few months. But as always, really excited to see what comes next. Managing risk the whole way, guys. Managing risk, learning new things, trying to stay disciplined. 2022, the year of Danny Sesta? Yeah, could be. I think this was his coming out party. I think everything we saw on Spell, Ice, and Time, well, Time aside, because Time's never really rolled over, but Ice and Spell, to me, that's like the end of next year. I think we're going to look back at the Spell and Ice charts. Personally, might be biased because bags, full disclosure. But I think those are going to look like test pumps next year. A little bloop, and there's a whoa. Like, that's where I see it, but who knows? Final thoughts in the chat. Embrace the psyops. Awesome content, man. Very easy to learn from. Mario, thank you, man. Appreciate that. We're going to end on that today, guys. If you haven't already and you liked the video, hit me up in the likes. Sub to the channel. I'm going to try to come back a little more. Next week, I'm going to be in Miami, though. So either Monday or not at all, because I'm flying to Miami Tuesday to Saturday. Going to go meet some people, do some stuff. I'll bring back some stories, and I think I might even get to see Rob and Gunny down there too. So crazy stuff. Just got back from Lisbon, still kind of recovering. It's already time for Miami. Should be fun though. Art Basel. Hopefully the weekend is kind to us. Try to stay away from the rug pulls, guys. I know it's hard to see them coming, but there are signs. You don't need to take big, massive, ridiculous risks on sketchy new projects in this market to make it. Let me tell you that from experience. I've never been in one. That's a lie. I've been in a couple, but never with any size. You know, throw in 1 ETH. This is back in DeFi summer when 1 ETH was like $300-400. I'd throw in one of those, double it, take 1 ETH back out, and then just let the Fugazi play out. That was my strategy. Whatever you do, though, from now until next time, guys, always play from a position of strength. Take care.